Salary negotiation for nurses are still ongoing, and that's according to General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Later. Recently, President of the Dominica Nurses Association, Rosie Felix, expressed concern that insurance and remuneration for nurses with specialties remain a major concern. However, Later says a proposal which was sent to Cabinet for approval is still pending.
Well, like the President of the Nurses Association, we are concerned, so much so that we are concerned that this matter has not been settled once and for all. Over the years, we have been negotiating or making representation on behalf of nurses for them to be paid for their specialized skills. And sometime last year, I think it was, we had some meetings with the Chief Personnel Officer, with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, and other nursing and people from nursing administration, including the PNO, Principal Nursing Officer, the matron, and so on, and other people as well as representative of the Nurses Association. And we looked not only at compensation for nurses, but compensation and working conditions of all health personnel, because there was a committee established. So we not only look at the nurses, but all health personnel. And following a series of meetings, some proposals were agreed to. And the conclusion, or coming out of the discussion, was a decision that these proposals would be presented to Cabinet for its approval. It is sometime now, and we are not sure as to the status of that document that was prepared and endorsed by everyone who attended those meetings. And the idea was that allowances, part of this recommendation was that the nurses would be paid for their specialized skills. And we look at other allowances for other health personnel.
And as General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Later, he says he's hoping to meet with government officials soon to resolve the matter.
Just this week, I have written to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, requesting an update of that situation, and my letter was copied to the Chief Personnel Officer. So I'm hoping that sometime next week we could have some information as to where we are with that situation. But as I indicated earlier on, we are concerned as well, just as the President of the Nurses Association, and it is our hope that this matter can be resolved very, very soon. We just have to continue the pressure, put a little pressure to bear on those who are supposed to do whatever they're supposed to do. And it is our hope that this matter can be resolved very, very soon, because, as I said, it involved discussion from all stakeholders.
And how much are they requesting?
Well, I can't remember the exact detail, but we I would have to go through the document and to really explain. But we would be all of them who have specialized skills.
And as General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Later, leader of the United Workers' Party, Ron Green, has responded to suggestions by Gabriel Christian that the UWP members should have attended Parliament. The UWP elected members have been boycotting the Parliament, which led to the vacancy of 2 UWP seats. Christian has said that the UWP members who boycotted the Parliament are missing out on an opportunity to scrutinize certain aspects of the state matters.
I think there was a speaker who called, a caller who called in and made some excellent points in regard to the Public Accounts Committee and its ability to in fact function, and the fact that the work that it does is dependent on the Prime Minister putting the matter to the floor, and that he will not do when it comes to matters that are going to be critical of his regime. I have had only a limited experience in the Public Accounts Committee, lasting about a year from the time I took up the leader of the opposition. We made some strides, but there again we were seeing blockages in regard to the documents that we were requiring to look at in regard to the corruption of state matters. So I believe that the impression that people have that the Public Accounts Committee can do a lot more is not exactly the case because of the limits and the restrictions within Parliament itself. But I take their point, and I believe there are a lot of people who think that the work of Jerry Brisbane, some excellent work, can be brought in and should be brought into the Public Accounts Committee, but only if there is a way whereby there's a clearer path whereby this information can reach the public. And there appear to be quite a few blockages in that regard in terms of my own limited experience as leader of the opposition.
In the meantime, Mr. Green says the present Speaker of the House of Assembly, Alex Boyd Knight, cannot continue in her position. He's accusing her of being a divisive force within the House.
Present Speaker cannot continue because she is not looking for solutions. She is not looking to find a way to be a Speaker that one needs in our democracy at this particular time. So it is a refocus on meaningful, real, and measurable movement in regard to those 4 and now our 5th concerns that have been put forward and have been put forward since the 18th of December 2009. As a matter of fact, many of those issues have been put forward since 2005. You would know of the protests, you would know of the white paper, you would know of the delegations to the president, you would know of all the various activities that were made in regard to electoral reform between 2005 and 2009, which were ignored. Not only ignored, but steps were taken by the Prime Minister to block them in regard to the Electoral Commission, who was moving or started to move in regard to ID cards. So we have a history here that we need to look at, and I would urge our eminent and prominent leaders like Ibo and others to focus on where the pressure needs to be put so that Dominica can get off this edge and that we can move in the direction that we need to be moving for our people, because the economic hardships our people are facing right now in agriculture in the southeast and La Plaine throughout the country, the hardships for jobs and opportunities, our youth, the situation of our youth are so dramatic.
Leader of the United Workers' Party, Ron Green. In more news tonight, Dominica's banana sector is expected to benefit from a project spearheaded by India. India's High Commissioner to Dominica, His Excellency Malay Mishra, says an expert from a banana research center in India will visit Dominica to provide training.
Now we have also talked about some expert in horticulture, particularly on the banana cultivation side. We are going to get some expert from India for Dominica. I have in fact got a proposal already from the Dominican government to provide an expert. So I understand, of course, banana is the mainstay of your horticulture, the agro side, and we would like to see how best we can bring in our success from India, the experience we've had. We've had a long tradition of cultivation of many fruits, including bananas, and this expert could come and share his experience. He is basically coming from a banana research center in India, one of the most important centers for banana research, who would be coming, and I'm happy to announce that we are going to soon get this expert to Dominica sometime later in the year.
And as India's High Commissioner to Dominica, His Excellency Malay Mishra. The International Regulatory Commission, IRC, has authorized an interconnection policy for renewable energy for Dominica. That's according to General Manager of DOMLEC, Colin Cover.
I don't know if many people know, but we actually do now have sanctioned by the IRC an interconnection policy for renewable energy. It was just passed, we wrote it, and it was just passed by the IRC perhaps two and a half weeks ago, but we now have actual rules about interconnection with renewable energy to the DOMLEC system. What it means, like, okay, it depends on the size system you have. If you have a very small system, like just a small solar panel which you're going to put on your house, you're not trying to sell power to DOMLEC, you're just trying to reduce your own bill, and it's less than 5 kilowatts, you just hook up. Once we come and we inspect it, and you hook up, that's all you really need to do once we inspect it, okay? You have to get some permission from the IRC also. As you get bigger and you get to the point where you want now to sell power back to DOMLEC, there are different sets of rules. The bigger you get, the more strict our enforcement becomes of this. But for the small householder who just wants to do something to reduce their own bill, you know, it's generally, there's a way we call it, there's a streamlined process. It's basically, once we check the equipment and realize that it is safe equipment, you hook up and there's very little paperwork to do.
Well, Mr. Cover says he welcomes renewable energy to Dominica.
There is nothing new with companies generating their own electricity